Hey folks, welcome back to yet another video. I'm Nataraj Malavade, a full-time trader, author, blogger, and a trainer. I want to start today's video with an interesting story. Assume that you are entering to some particular option, call or put option, and you want to exit it at 200 rupees. What you would have done? You would have placed a stop loss market order. But what if the order, rather than executing at 200, it has executed at 900 rupees? That means straight away you are in a loss of 700 points. You might ask this, is it really happening or is it really a reality? Yes, it is happening, and this particular thing is called as a freak trade. So I'm going to discuss about this freak trade, why it is happening, and it can be happened with anyone. So that is why this video is absolutely important. What is actually the problem, why it is happening, that is what we are going to discuss in the first particular part, and in the last we are going to discuss about the solutions, what can be done. So if you are handling the trading manually or if you are trading algorithmically, so I'm going to give solutions for both of the options. Watch this video till the end to get the complete clarity. And before moving further, if you are new to my channel, make sure to subscribe the channel and also click on the bell icon to get the regular updates from our end. Further any delay, let's get started. First and most important thing we need to understand here is freak trade. What is freak trade? So in simple terms, let's say a trader places his stop loss at some 200 or 250 rupees. Instead of getting his stop loss triggered at 200, 250 rupees, he is getting it at 500 or something like even 1000, 1500 away from the desired price. So this is actually the issue, and this is called as a freak trade. Why this is happening is very important to understand at this particular moment. So there are three important reasons because of which this particular issue is happening. First reason is the shallow market. If you are thinking our market is having a more dense or more liquidity, especially the options trading and all, you are absolutely at the wrong side. The recent article of Nitin Kamit from Zerodh says that our market is a shallow market. Here is clearly stating that media is showcasing or saying that the exchange turnover is in the lakh crores. But in terms of the overall, at the reality, so the exchange present daily turnover in terms of the notional value is 50 lakh crores. If you look at the premium amount for options and the margin amounts of future, this turnover reduces to 20,000 crores for options and 20,000 crores for futures. That is approximately 40,000 crores of turnover every single day, which is $5 billion. And in this, overall 50% of the turnover is coming from mostly from high frequency trading and algo platforms. They are placing a market orders. And there are only less than 1 million active FNO traders at the present scenario. This particular information shows us that present market, whatever we are trading options or future, is not completely liquid. So whatever the amount that we are seeing at the as a turnover is a notional value. So in that sense, our market is a shallow market. So in terms of the overall depth, you need to be very careful when you are placing a market order. There is a high chance of getting a higher spreads or higher slippages. But wait, so earlier also there were a stop loss market and the issue was very less. The freak trade issues were very less. It was there, but it was not frequent like it is happening now. So why it is happening? There comes the second reason, which is on 16th August 2021, exchange has removed the freeze limit of options. So what is freeze limit? So earlier what used to happen is when the market order was supposed to execute beyond certain range of the options, it was getting rejected. So that was the mechanism was already inbuilt by the exchange, but that has completely removed from 16th August 2021, which has also led this particular freak things to happen because there is no particular limit now. So a market order can be executed at any particular extent. At that particular point of time, there was no liquidity or there was no opponent party. Obviously, the price has misleaded and obviously it is immediately has triggered to 500 or 600 away and it has got exit. And now comes the third important reason, which is using the stop loss market. This is the most dangerous thing you can do at the present scenario because stop loss market, what you need to understand the science behind stop loss market. So whatever the orders that you place, it may be market order or any kind of an order that you are placing in the terminal, it is basically like a communicating with your broker. When you are placing a stop loss market, what does it mean is that you are communicating to your broker saying that, see, this is my trigger price. When this trigger price comes in the market or when the market crosses this trigger price, you need to convert my order to market order. So obviously, the execution is assured. That is a major advantage of the stop loss market order, any market order, but price is not assured. This is the most dangerous thing which is happening at the present moment. You should be avoiding stop loss market at any given cost of time. So at the present scenario, using a stop loss market is not a complete solution. Obviously, you are always exposed to this kind of free trade. So because of these three important reasons, present free trades are happening. Now, let's move on to the next part, how to tackle it. Because see, the market is dynamic, always there is something happening. Recently the overall margin has removed for intraday, so something, the controller or the overall regulators do something with respect to the system. Of course, we cannot blame on any particular person. We are accepting that risk and we are trading. So in that particular sense, we need to look at the solution, what we have to do at this particular scenario. As I said, using a stop loss market is completely a big no, but there are other solutions. Presently, I'm also handling in a different scenario. I'm using a limit and stop loss limit orders. So that scenario, I'm going to explain how I'm presently handling and managing this free trade scenario. So when it comes to the solution part, it is very simple. There are two important scenarios. One scenario, first scenario is you are entering the trade. Always when you are entering a trade, you want the price at present scenario, or you want to enter at the market. So considering that situation, avoid marketing orders or avoid market orders straight away. You can use the limit order. Assume that you want to enter at 200 rupees. You are buying the options, you want to enter at 200 rupees. Instead of placing a market order, place the limit order for 220, 250, something like that. So 50 or 20 points away from the 200 rupees. In that particular price, obviously we'll get the best price within the limit. So more than 50 points, you are not going to face any particular price differences. So obviously it completely reduces your free trade scenario when you are entering a trade. But the real challenge is in exiting the trade, because earlier the people are, most of the retail traders were used to use the stop loss market orders. But present scenario, as I said, stop loss market order is the complete big no scenario. At that particular point of time, exiting the trade is the biggest challenge at the present scenario. So now let's talk about how I am presently managing and how I'm presently exiting the order. So when we want to exit our order in the non-favorable situation, that means trade is not working in our favor, trade is working against us. At that particular point of time, earlier we used to use a stop loss market order. So when the trigger happens, the stop loss market order used to convert as a market order, and we used to get the decent price and exit the trade. But now with using a stop loss market order, there is a threat of getting a free trade. So that is why we use another method, which is stop loss limit order. So before understanding what is the solution by using stop loss limit order, let's talk about the stop loss limit order. The main difference between stop loss limit order and stop loss market order is that in the stop loss market order, you are only giving the trigger price as the input. But when it comes to the stop loss limit order, you are also giving another input, which is the price, nothing but the limit price. So the science behind stop loss limit order is such that when particular trigger happens, suppose let's say you are entering at 200 rupees, when that particular option goes beyond 250 rupees, you want to exit the market. That is the scenario. In that case, what you can do is, rather than using a stop loss market order, you can use the stop loss limit order by keeping your trigger at 250 rupees and 1 or 2 point away from the 250 rupees. Let's say 252 rupees your limit price. So what happens in this scenario is, how you are communicating with your broker is, you are saying that when the trigger price or when the price goes beyond 250 rupees, convert my order to limit order to 252. That means at any given point of time, you are assured to get the best price within 252 rupees. But there is another scenario. What if that particular thing missed? So suppose let's say market suddenly moved out and there was no liquidity at that particular price, and immediately market started trading about 252 rupees. So at that particular point of time, there is also a possibility of your order to be in the pending state. That means you are completely not exit from the market. This also comes with another risk. So I'm going to discuss all this scenario now. I'm going to talk about two important solutions, because there are two different scenarios here. First scenario is where you are not using any algorithms. You are simply using manually, you are manually trading with the market. So at that particular point of time, rather than using a stop loss market order, what you can do is using the stop loss limit order with a higher buffer. So what I mean to say is that, assume that you want to exit your trade at 250 rupees in a non-favorable situation. That means trade is working against you. At that particular point of time, you want to exit at 250 rupees. You are going to place a trigger order at 250 rupees. That means your order is going to activate it only when the price crosses 250 rupees. But when it comes to the limit price, you are going to give the limit price as, let's say, 100 or 200 point away. So obviously you are giving more space for your market to execute. Because of this, what happens? Obviously, first thing is that the freak of like 700, 800 points of freak will not happen. So obviously in that sense, the freak trade scenario is completely eliminated. And second important thing is that you are going to get the best price within the mentioned limit. Now you can ask, Nataraj, what if it executes 200 or 150 points away? Well, rather than getting 1500, 2000 rupees of slippages, it is always better to get 100 or 150 point slippage. So in that consideration, always give a more space for limit order only, but you are giving a more space. Because of that, there is a high possibility of you getting a best price within mentioned price. Now let's talk about the second scenario where you are handling your trades algorithmically. That's what I'm presently doing, how you can manage it algorithmically. Let's say, assume that I want to exit at 250 rupees, the same scenario. So what I will do is I will give 4 attempts to the market. So let's say I'm placing a first order. My initial order would be 250 rupees is my trigger and 250.1. So that will be my limit. So at any given point of time, if the 250 triggers, so I am going to get the best price within 250.1. Suppose, let's say the order didn't trigger, markets immediately, gone beyond my particular range, and presently my order is not filled. It is in a pending state. At that particular point of time, obviously I'm in the unlimited risk scenario. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to wait for another 15 seconds and I'm going to modify the limit price, only limit price of 0.5% adding to the limit price. Assume the 250.1. So for that, I'm going to multiply it by 0.5%. So that will come around 1 or 1.5 rupees. So I'm going to increase that 1 or 1.5 rupees for the second attempt, which is after 15 seconds. So similar to this, I'm going to increase this level for next 1 minute. That means I'm going to give 4 attempt to the market by increasing my limit price. So what I'm doing here is I'm just waiting for 1 minute of time and I'm giving market 1 minute of time after even triggering my stop loss to get the best price. Suppose, let's say, assume my order is not filled after even 4 attempts. So I'm converting my overall the stop loss limit order to the limit order by giving a more buffer. That means it is like a converting market order, but it is not completely a market order. At that particular point of time, whatever the price is trading at level, so that is where I want to exit the market, because I already given a 4 attempt to the market, but the price is not filled. I want to exit from the market. At that particular point of time, I'm going to get a negative slippage. Now you might ask, what if you get a maximum loss here? Yes, there is a possibility, but the good news is here that according to my present systems, whatever the option rating systems I have, so I backtested it. I backtested and verified it in a 1 minute chart, and there is a high possibility, around 75 to 80% of the time, price always come back to my stop loss level in 1 minute time frame. So suppose in within 1 minute also it has not triggered, at that particular point of time, I'm converting my order to the market order by increasing the buffer limit. So it is not a straight away market order, it is a limit order with more buffer. So something like that. So in this particular scenario, I'm ensuring in 80% of the scenario, I'm going to get the best price. That means there will not be any difference between my system exit and the real executed exit. In that manner, I'm going to save a lot of amounts, lot of exit slippages in my trades. Because of that, you can see that almost 116 points I recently saved in 9 trades. I started executing it. I'm not saying it in terms of the only theoretical manner. I already started executing it, and that is why I'm making this video. It is working for me presently. Around 116 points I have saved by simply using this particular method. Why? Because when I am exiting a trade, I am not facing any particular slippages. So that is nothing but the amount which has saved. And yes, there is a possibility around 15 to 20% of the time, there may be I will be getting a negative slippages because of this. But over the long run, if you see the overall trading, large number comes into the play. So it gets evens out. So right now you can see I have saved 116 points because of this scenario. Obviously, if I get even 20 or 30 point or 40 points of slippages in next any particular trade, it will get evens out. So that is how the scenario. But at any given point of time, what we are trying to do here is we are completely avoiding the freak trade scenario. Freak trade is not going to happen because we are using a limit order execution. And second thing is we are also getting a best price limit or best price executions. So the final thing, to make it summarize, first thing, you are not supposed to use any particular market order when you are especially trading options. Stop using market orders. Use limit and stop loss limit order instead of using the stop loss market order or even the limit order. Well, I hope this video helped you. I think this is the most crucial information at the present moment for anybody to understand. If you have any particular questions, ask them in the comments. If you are new to my channel, consider subscribing the channel and also click on the bell icon to get the regular updates. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you in the next video. Until then, take care. Bye bye.